Hello Aries, and welcome to your horoscope for this coming month. That's October 2022. My name is Justina. If you are new here, welcome. I'm a Western astrologer. I follow the tropical zodiac along with the whole sign system and all the forecasts on this channel. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here this forecast is most accurate for the rising sign. However, you can also watch it for your moon sign or for your sun sign if you wish. So thank you. Now here I've got my computer in front of me, so if you see me looking here in this direction, this means that I'm looking at your chart for Aries rising and I'm trying to give you guidance or, well, make sense of what's going on in the 4 weeks of October, because there is a lot going on. So let's jump into the first event, and that's Mercury stationing direct. So that's happening on the 2nd of the month at 24 degrees of Virgo in your 6th house. So here Virgo stimulated, so triggered your relationship sphere, but also anything to do with your employment, everyday routine. So perhaps there could be cancellations, delays, changes related to how your daily life is structured. And there could have been people that returned back into your life throughout this period as well. Now Mercury stations direct. For those who were not born during Mercury retrograde, this will be a time when you will be able to think clearly. Now with the Mercury stationing direct, think clearly, and generally this will be a good time for implementing any new ideas that you may have had for yourself throughout the retrograde season. Now at the same time, Venus will have her solstice until the 3rd of the month. So there could be delays related to any contracts, any agreements, a certain degree of confusion in your love life, in your one-to-one connection. So you might have to put more effort when collaborating with others. However, ultimately, you might have some really strong realizations around the 3rd as well, with Mercury stationing direct on the 2nd and Venus finishing her solstice. Now, moving forward, on the 9th, there is a very special event for you because there's a full moon in Aries in your sign. So here we connected this full moon to the new moon we had 6 months before this event. So perhaps during this full moon in Aries, you might see some developments concerning those new beginnings that you started 6 months ago. Now, if you started a new business, for instance, or a new course of study, now during this full moon, you will decide if you want to carry on, if you want to change something, if you want to end it. Because with a full moon, this is a highlight of certain life events. This is when we become very clear, and this will be a good time for making this decision, whether you want to stick with whatever that you started or if you want to quit and move on into something different. Now, at this time, Mercury and Neptune will be in an opposition, so there could be confusion, fogginess as well. So this is not Aries and Aries full moon will be fantastic for business ideas, for generally trying to reach your goals, and there is this strong motivation, courage and drive that Mercury and Neptune opposition could bring fogginess. So you will have to think clearly at this time and consider the pros and cons of any decisions that you make. All right, so here moving forward, we've got between the 13th and the 16th of the month, Mercury will have its solstice. So here, this will make you think about your employment, about your coworkers. If you have your own business and you employ people, you might be also reviewing their work, the work that they do, the work that they provide for you, for instance, for your business. Now your daily life, your health will also go under a great review. Things might be going slower at your work. So perhaps take it easy and focus the energies, the excess of energies on something more productive if you see that you can make progress in certain spheres of life at this time. But at the same time, you might also have some great realizations concerning your work, concerning your everyday life routine as well, or perhaps even your health and diet. Now here until the 16th, Jupiter will also have its solstice from the very beginning of the month. So also the first 2 weeks of the month, you will also be reviewing, reassessing your life goals, your life direction as well. Anything to do with higher education if you're currently studying. So that might also go under a great review. There could be delays as well. So as you can see, this whole month is about some great realizations and about being patient as well, even though it might not be easy at times. At the same time, we've got the Sun and Venus in your relationship sphere until the 23rd. So there is a lot of focus as well that goes into your relationships, into your love, into your marriage, anything to do with business partnerships as well, contract agreements. So you might be also dealing with that. Now, here moving forward, we've got Saturn stationing direct on the 24th at 18 degrees of Aquarius. So this is a very big event because Saturn stationed retrograde around the 10th of June. Saturn is a karmic planner, the lord of karma, and Saturn overall usually brings lessons and well, it tests certain areas of life wherever it is transiting in our house, in our chart. So with Saturn stationing direct, could be a really rewarding time for those who worked hard or even productively during the last few months since June, because Saturn could bring rewards. And for you, this would be related to teamwork, to group activities, but also anything to do with business partnerships, you joining some new communities as well, or perhaps you might be able to reach some of your goals and desires in the final months of the year, because Saturn here will be direct, so its energies will move much faster. And that's really exciting because these are the last months of Saturn being in Aquarius. Next year, Saturn will move into Pisces. Saturn will be in Pisces next year, even though Saturn in Pisces might be scary because Saturn is about structure, discipline. Pisces is emotional and it's about compassion. So here, but Saturn in the 12th house actually feels comfortable. It's the house of joy for Saturn. The reason for that is because Saturn is not strong in the 12th house. So this could really be pretty, well, enlightening in some way, but not as restricting as you may think. But we will get there. We will get there next year and in the annual horoscopes. Let's go back to the October horoscope now. So we've got Saturn stationing direct. Now on the 25th, we start the eclipses season. It's a South Node solar eclipse. So a solar eclipse is about something new, something fresh. The activation of this eclipse can last up to 6 months. So here we had a lunar eclipse in Scorpio back in May, mid-May. Now we will have a solar eclipse. So that lunar eclipse was about endings, some karmic endings. That's a south node. Here with a south node solar eclipse, even though a solar eclipse is about new beginnings, a south node is about some ending. So you will have to end something in order for something else to begin. That's the south node solar eclipse. So this is about something connected to your investments, to mortgage applications, to loan agreements, for instance, business partnerships. So generally transformation is on the way for you. Here, this is the house of transformation, so there will be some great new beginnings in your life. So this could be related to you making a major investment in your life. This could be related to inheritance as well. Investments, inheritance, or perhaps even you might receive money as a result of a sale, as a result of perhaps any money that comes through other sources than income. So you could be lucky. But remember, you will have to close some chapters in your life as well. Move away even from some habits, routines that no longer serve any purpose. So that's so this eclipse actually is pretty straightforward. The one we need to keep an eye for is the lunar eclipse in Taurus, because it will be much more difficult. But this one here, I will make a separate video about this eclipse, so we'll go much deeper into it. This is just to give you some overview, some guidance or heads up. All right, so that's at 2 degrees of Scorpio, very early degrees of Scorpio. We're dealing with something fresh with an early degree, 25th of October. Now on the 29th, we've got Jupiter moving back into Pisces until December the 20th. So here we've got the last chance to deal with those Piscean energies of Jupiter. Jupiter in Pisces feels great, even though it's retrograde at this time. But here you get an extra protection here, like a guardian might be kind of overlooking every step that you take, helping you from the invisible world, so to speak. All right, so here Jupiter in Pisces, you might deal with a similar theme in your life that you dealt with between January and May. So here, this is also about completions, things coming to an end, because you're about to enter a new chapter in your life, even though it has already started to a certain extent when Jupiter moved into Aries, but now Jupiter is moving back into your 12th house and then it will return. So generally this is about soul searching as well. Soul searching, about healing yourself. And this will be a fantastic time for healing, focusing on your mental health so that you have the right strength, confidence and power to face the positive energies of next year, because dear Aries, next year and the following will be very important for you because Jupiter will be in your sign, but also we will begin the series of eclipses on Jupiter and on Aries and Libra axis. So you are entering a very important phase in your life, lots of major new beginnings and endings. Many of you will be getting married, having a baby, moving into a new house or relocating, starting a new course of study, a new business. So lots of big events. I know a few Aries and I can already see them planning things for next year, some major changes. So that's very exciting, because I know that many Aries have gone through lots of difficulties in the last few years, especially since Pluto was in Capricorn for over a decade now. And it squared any placements that you have in Aries or your sun, your ascendant, your moon sign. So that's coming to an end soon. Very exciting. Now, here Mars, your ruler, will station retrograde in Gemini at 25 degrees of Gemini on October the 30th. Mars in Gemini, I think it brought a lot of movement into your life, perhaps lots of traveling as well, short distance travel. You might have reconnected with your family, your relatives, next of kin, and probably there was a lot of movement. You may have been signing contracts, agreements, and now that Mars will station retrograde at 25 degrees of Gemini on October the 30th, the energies of Mars, especially from the 22nd already, will start to slow down. And this will be pretty frustrating because Aries wants to take action. So here, the next few months, even though we've got Saturn stationing direct and lots of other interesting energies, but here your ruler will be retrograde. So you will be dealing with lots of things from the past. You will have to be super patient as well. And especially with things that you have started or did during Mars transit in Gemini from the August the 20th. So there could be lots of kind of events moving on for you. But here Mars will be moving very slowly between the 22nd of October and around the 5th or 9th of November. It will only move a degree or so. So that's like nothing. So you will have to take it easy, and probably starting anything new until the end of the year won't be very beneficial for you. You'll have to put more effort if you really want to take anything off the ground. So perhaps work on whatever that you already have or what you have started before the retrograde, because anything new might be really frustrating for you. Now, on the top of that, Mars will be out of bounds between October the 22nd and May the 4th. When a planet is out of bound, it acts out of the ordinary. Very eccentric energy here, similar to Uranus. So apart from Mars being retrograde, your ruler, it will be out of bounds until next year. That's really interesting because you might get out of your comfort zone more than once, more than twice. You might want to experiment and do things that you haven't done before. And this could be it would be quite interesting on one hand, but on the other hand, you have to be careful and think carefully, because you might want to take risks too often. So it's something to really keep in mind, because you will want to do things, experiment with things, ideas, projects that might be too risky. So I think knowing about this might help you to make the right decision moving forward. All right, so here we go, Aries. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this forecast, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you and bye for now.